Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and not too long ago on this channel, I was able to actually give you guys an early preview play of a new game that Renegade has on Kickstarter right now. This is the latest in the Solo Hero series game. This one is also made by John D. Clare, apparently a guy that's amazing at these type of card building construction games that you do in the middle of the game, which is absolutely blew my mind in every way, shape, and form. That preview play pretty much gave you a good idea about what I thought of the game, how I thought it played, and like my general opinions of it and everything, and also give you a good example on what to expect from it. But now we're going to head on over to the Kickstarter itself, take a look at what they're offering, stretch goals, shipping as always, and other fun things like that, as I talk to you guys about why I backed Unstoppable. So normally when I do these videos, I don't have the privilege of actually playing the game prior to doing this. Now, there's been a lot more of them that have been on like Tabletop Simulator and things along that ways, which I'm actually starting to really dive more into to get an early idea of how a game feels, how it plays, and goes along that ways. But this one itself, I was actually able to touch, to hold, to see how it is on the table and to play along that ways. And that really did cement in my mind, and my buddy as well, about whether we wanted to back this project, to help fund it, and to move it along and add it to our collection, which obviously is a very big yes overall. And that is just a fantastic thing. Thank you once again to Renegade for sending that my way. I got your back, guys. You know that. Able to send that out to you guys and whatnot as well and get it to where it needed to get to in time for Origins. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much. But if you haven't seen my playthrough of Unstoppable yet, I definitely recommend going and check that out. There might be a card or something up here. There's definitely going to be something at the end of the video that you can check out and click on if it isn't down in the description section or even below that or whatever. But before we get ourselves into all of that and just really diving into it, let's head on over to the Kickstarter, see where it all is right now, and what it takes for us to become unstoppable. The best deck builder of the year, so says One Stop Co-op Shop. And you know what? I agree with them 100%. I have very similar taste in games like Mike and a lot of them over at One Stop have. So whenever I see them play something, I like going in there and like seeing if it's something that I would be interested in, something that I would really want to make sure I get into my collection and whatnot. And just their enthusiasm and their enjoyment for this game really cemented it for me on how much it is I wanted it. I haven't even gotten the copy at the time in order to play and whatnot, so I didn't know for sure. But watching them play, seeing how it all goes together, things along that ways, that is a very, very true statement. And you guys just have to see these playthroughs in order to understand. Like, it's going to be so good. It is such a great game. But here we are, Unstoppable. Ages 14 plus, really, you know, it's not that hard of a game in order to do. There's a lot of symbology to the game. You may get a little confused about some of the keywords, but the good thing is on every card is a written explanation of those keywords, which I think Renegade's even going to make even more clearer once the final release happens. There's also a really good, helpful guide within the box itself that you can kind of pass around and whatnot in order to give you some information about keywords and symbols and things along that ways. 1 to 2 players, which is funny because this is a Solo Hero series game, so you'd figure it'd be a 1 player only, but this does have a 2-player like variant to it, and I gotta say, I loved it. My buddy Paul and I were able to play this just between the two of us before I sent it back, and it was so good. It was so good. 30 to 90 minutes, yeah, that's about it. Once you start learning everything and whatnot, you'll be able to burn through the games a little bit faster. 30 minutes once, by the time I hit my 10th playthrough, 30 to 40 minutes was around my average. A roguelike momentum deck builder. Basically, the big shtick to the game, as you can see right here, is building your cards. There are 4 possible components to every card. A core, which is what you use on your turn, a threat, which is what you fight, and then 2 equipment that you can slot in order to power it up. And that's kind of what this represents. You have a core here, you have something on the back that you fight, and then these equipment attach into it in order to be able to say, this is a stronger, more powerful card that I can use, but the kicker is, the enemy on the other side is stronger as well. Big thing to mention right now, there are no late pledges to this game, so as soon as this Kickstarter is over, the only way you can get it is once it's available on the Renegade website or at your friendly local game store, either way. But you have a little bit of a backstory about how everything's here. You can definitely pause that to read it. It does come with a lore book as well, which I didn't get a chance to read. I have the PDF file on it, but I definitely want to check that out and see a little bit more about all the different factions and characters in it. But here we have the pledge levels. This is kind of like one of the most important things that I was curious about to see what it is that they were offering in addition to the game. So $60, can't stop, basic pledge level includes 1 copy of the game and all the stretch goals. Cool, awesome, fantastic. Spoiler alert, that's what I have. Here we go. Won't Stop for $75, you save $5 off MSRP, is the base game, stretch goals, and 1 of the neoprene playmats. That is 1 neoprene playmat, $75. $90, save $10 off MSRP. Never Gonna Stop includes the base game, all stretch goals, and 2 neoprene playmats. That's 2 instead of 1. Isn't that amazing? And finally, you have Unstoppable all in $100, save $20 off MSRP. You get the base game, you get the stretch goal, and 3, count them, 3 playmats. I was not impressed by this at all, unfortunately. I'm going to be honest. This is an honest run through of all these Kickstarters and whatnot. And let me tell you, the playmats were fine. Like, they sent them to me. I was able to look at them. My buddy Paul and I used them when we were doing our game together. And besides that, I used them once for myself for my first game. But out of the dozen or so games I've played, that's what, twice that I used the playmats, and even all of them. Yes, they're nice. They're a great way in order to be able to see how the game lays out on your table and whatnot. But you put out all those mats, it is a big table hog with all of them. And I like having a little bit more condensed, space and moving things around to my own accord and whatnot. So again, people love mats. That's great. Get them, do what you got to do with them. The reason you get 3 is because they are all double-sided. One of them has the side for your character. The other has the side for your market of sorts. So you're going to have 1 that's the market, and then 1 that's for you. That's if you have 2 playmats. If you have the 3 playmats, which is what this one is, you'll have 1 for the market, 1 for you, and then 1 for the second player that you play as. So that's how you use all 3, flipping them around and things along that way. So really, getting 1 playmat is kind of like, it's not necessary for the game. It's really not. You don't need it. You can definitely tell where everything goes. It's very well laid out in the instruction book and things along that ways. It's not an issue at all. I kind of wish there was like a legit expansion or some type of other, component enhancement or whatever for this game or whatever from these pledge levels. But honestly, me personally, $60 is fine. That's great. That's a great price for the game itself, which I believe is MSRP. Yes, I got to pay shipping now, but I'm going to get it a few months before most other people do. One of the few reasons why to back the Kickstarter now if you're interested in the game. All right, here we go. What's in the box? And this is, of course, for the base game that you will find at retail on the Renegade store and everything once this is finally released. You get 4 portrait cards. These are the 4 characters that you are able to play as in the game. 12 character cards. Each character card will have 3 cards attached to them. So they'll tell you on the back of the card which one of the cards belongs in their deck, but it's a 10-card deck. 7 of the cards, everybody has 3 of them are unique to each one of the characters. Yep, there we go, 14 core cards. That is for 2 players now, keep in mind. So it's 7 apiece. 26 starting threat cards. The threat cards themselves are broken up into 3 different categories, a green, a blue, and a purple, pink. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You will determine which ones you want to use depending on, these are the starting threat cards. I'm sorry, starting threat cards attached to the starting core cards. 39 threat cards are broken up into the 3 sets right there. So yeah, that's kind of how that all plays out that way. 100 core cards. These are what you're going to be upgrading your deck with as you go forward. 36 upgrade cards is what you're going to be using to upgrade the cards that you build throughout the course of your game. A ton of boss cards right here for the 3 bosses that come within the game. Now, I played against the Triumvirate in my playthrough. The Harbinger was one that the only boss right now that I've beaten twice so far when my playthroughs, and I haven't done this one yet. This is one that I will be doing as soon as I get this game for you guys, because this is like a choose your own adventure style game, which is so cool. I love the way that's set out. 2-player mats, obviously, because 2 players, you only need 1 if you're only playing by yourself. The credit tokens and the damage tokens are all cardboard. These are kind of things that I wished had a little bit more of an upgrade to them. I would have loved to see like metal credit tokens and like really thick, maybe chip style damage tokens. I thought that would be really cool if any type of upgrade was available for that, which is why, I don't know. I think that should have been more put in than the playmats, but that's all right. Armor and health tokens, I think this would have made for a pretty cool upgrade as well if you made this look like a heart and this look like a shield. You know, something a little bit more thematic and just cooler to look at rather than just like a square. The danger marker for your bosses. I love the action point and the level discs. These are very nice poker style chips, a little bit lighter than them, but they feel nice, they play nice, and I always like that clicking sound whenever you use them. It's fantastic. Card dividers for everything. 121 sleeves. You will need most of them. I think there's only like 10 or 15 extra sleeves within the box itself. A reference sheet that I talked about, and then of course, the storybook. I'm going to move through the how to play pretty quickly because again, I did already a playthrough of this and everything, so you kind of get an idea if you've seen that, how to go. Pick your hero, pick your boss, build your cards, fight your enemies. And the unique thing about this game is that you're not drawing cards into your hand directly. Whenever you beat an enemy, you flip it over to its good side, and that's what comes to your hand, and that's how you get new cards into your hand. Going through it, you're going to be defeating the boss, but as you go through as well, the boss gets stronger. If the boss ever hits the very final spot there, it's an immediate game over. In addition to that, if you lose all your life, it is an immediate game over. Each boss has their own unique win condition. That is a game in a nutshell, in the most simplest of terms. There is plenty more that go into that. But again, definitely check out my early preview if you haven't already, or any of the other ones that are actually, let's keep going through this because maybe we'll find something interesting on this page. First off, the official how to play. Fantastic job these guys did by far. I watched this a few times myself, and it's kind of a reason why I decided not to do a how to play because you really can't get any better than how these guys taught it. Before going into the stretch goals, let's go ahead and look through these preview videos. I keep talking to you about seeing this stuff and seeing it for yourself. You know, you got, an Unstoppable from John DeClaire, an interview, Man vs. Meeple, one-stop co-op shop, rolling solo, Meeple University, and look who's that! Look at that! Look who made it to the page! Oh my god, it's Board Game Co. and the Dice Tower. I mean, again, just little things like this make me really happy to see because I put work and effort into all this and I love seeing it getting appreciated and being shared by those that enjoy it. And like all of these videos deserve high praise for sure, showing off the game and giving their honest opinions about it and everything like that. The team did a fantastic job at this. Everything, the art, the way that the cards work together and, their quality. The card quality, I think, could be a little bit more of an upgrade just because you're going to be handling a lot of them without sleeves. But other than that, I cannot praise this game enough. Really, I cannot. Okay, let's talk stretch goals and a reason why you should back this now instead of waiting for it to come to retail. Should this be something you are interested in? If this isn't anything you're interested in, then no problem, no worries. It's not for everybody. Not every game is made for everybody. No problem. Thank you for, checking it out at least and giving it a shot. Very much appreciated. If this is something you really are interested in, really want to pick up at some point, and you live in the United States or some of the other regions and whatnot, but we'll go over shipping in a little bit. There are some pretty good reasons to go first. And the first thing, to back first, I should say, and that would be the stretch goals. The way that I'm seeing a lot of these stretch goals is this feels like an expansion that was made for the game that rather than saying, here, we will sell you this expansion for like 20, 25 bucks or whatever, in addition to whatever it is you're doing, we're going to piecemeal it out over the course of stretch goals and kind of show off all this little bit by little bit by little bit and get you excited for all of it. Now, all this is free. Should you back this at all on any level, in any way, you will get all the stretch goals regardless. So all of the cards and whatnot you're going to see here will be part of your set. Otherwise, these are what are considered Renegade exclusives, meaning that once this goes to the web store and things along that ways, you'll be able to get the base game fine, but then you're going to have to pay extra to get these cards into your game. Now, what do we got? First, we have 6 new ally cards. Allies are fantastic because they do help a lot. They are able to trigger multiple times in a turn once you get them out there. You got 6 of them from level 1 to 3. So I figure 2 for level 1, 2 for level 2, 2 for level 3. Same thing right here. 2 for level 3, 2 for level 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, they actually doubled up on 3. I feel like this might be a mistake. This is probably a 4 right here. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's probably 4 through 6, 4, 5, and 6 in that way. We got 6 tactic cards. Tactics are your main attack cards and everything. This one is focusing on one of the 4 factions, which is the Council. I'm going to be talking about the pricing in a little bit. That is something I want to point out, but I just want to go through what's unlocked first. 5 new upgrade cards, always love those. A new character, this is amazing. Apparently there is another one coming up soon. Again, I'll talk about more things if I want to see in a moment, but let's just go through this. So a new character, which is awesome. We love new characters. Tactic cards for the Silver class, tactic cards for the Junker class. There is tactic cards for the Viren class. This did get upgraded recently. This, not upgraded, this did get unlocked recently. I think when I'm recording this, it's like 119,980 or something like that funds for this. It's going to hit 120 for sure. And it's going to keep going because at the point of when I'm recording this, there's like 9 days left. You guys are going to see it at about a week left. Plenty of time to go, especially within those last like 48 hours for sure. But there you go. There's Viren at the end. So that's all 4 classes unlocked there. They are giving away bonus sleeves as well, which is nice. You're going to have some extra sleeves. And then, like I said, 5 more upgrade cards. So that's 10 upgrade cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 36 more regular cards added into the list of what you can purchase from the store or collect from the store when it's on your turn. And then, of course, a brand new character. Now, going forward, I know they're coming to the end of their stretch goals. They did mention another new character that's coming. And I really hope that the last stretch goal they have is a boss. They would love to see a 4th boss added to this because I think that would kind of tie all of the stretch goals together and make it this like really exciting thing in order to have to your game. Now, what I do want to point out really quickly are the amount of funding that bounces around here. If you notice, this says 93K. That's not what that was at the time. When this first started, within like a day or two or whatever, this was like 100K. This was 115. Who even knows what the rest of it was going to be? Like, I get it. I get wanting to build up the hype and wanting to get as much money into your product as possible and really pump it out and everything like that. But point one, this is not an IP game. You know, this is not based off of anything. Renegade puts out a Power Rangers or a G.I. Joe or a Transformers Kickstarter. That thing's going to make a bank load of money because people just love the IP regardless of anything, even if they don't know anything about the game. That's kind of how I got into Heroes of the Grid, just because I saw it, I love the IP, and I wanted it anyway. That's how that works. Unstoppable is kind of an original creation to them. Now, people may know John DeClaire and want his games, which is awesome. People may see all the videos and everything and want it, which is great. But it doesn't bring in the same like waves of people that you would if this was like an IP that everyone recognizes. Second thing is that, again, back to those pledge levels, even if you pledge everything, you're only pumping in $100 to the overall fundage towards this game. 60 is going to be, in my opinion, what people will generally do. I mean, hang on a second. I normally don't do this, but I just kind of want to point it out. 771 backers for the Can't Stop. We have 342, 182, wow, 265 for that one. Good on you guys for sure. And then, of course, the retailer edition at 33. Got a bunch of different things there and whatnot. So it's just more or less just pointing out that the majority of backers are going to go for the $60 one, not because that there's no additional like value for these other pledges, which there are in those mats. Those mats, again, are fantastic. They look awesome, they feel awesome, and they are a great table presence on, you know, your game board for you to be able to put your cards out and everything along that ways. But they're not necessary for gameplay 100%. So maybe somebody will want 1 or 2 at most. I'm surprised how many people have 3, but you know what? Again, good on you guys. Awesome. Thank you. Keep supporting this game. It's great. Great to actually see that. But as I was saying, that's not a lot of money being pumped into the overall funding of the game. You're not going to see it rise as fast as you would with something that had like an MSRP of $130 or something along that way. So raising or lowering, I should say, the stretch goal numbers to these was a great idea from Renegade in order to be able to show off the new stuff that's coming out and stuff that you can get through the stretch goals, but still have them obtainable. And again, this is very obtainable. This is very obtainable for the time that's left. I don't know how many stretch goals are left. They did mention the final stretch goals with an S, one of them being a new character. So I assume that after this right here, we will see our new character. Maybe there might be 1 or 2 stretch goals after that. And then hopefully, crossing fingers, please, that would be amazing. The final stretch goal is a new boss. So That is kind of one of the main reasons why you should be backing this now if this interests you at all. If you don't mind waiting for it to come out to give it a shot yourself before you start buying these expansions, that's fine too, because that just continues to show interest in the game. Maybe we'll start seeing a bunch of expansions come out for it like they did with, what is that, Warp's Edge, I believe is the other solo hero. I gotta play all the solo heroes. I need the solo hero series. Question for you guys out there that have played the solo hero series, what is your favorite from them right now? I know there's 3 of them out currently, this one being the 4th one. Warp's Edge is the only one that comes to mind off the top of my head. I know that I remember the other 2 are there. But I'd love to hear what you guys think of that series and which one do you think is your favorite. So continuing down, rulebook and story. Thank you, sir. My son is down here with me. He is being a good boy. Very, very good. We got a rule book that you can read right here and now. So you'll be able to know how to play the game besides just seeing other people do it. You can read the storybook right now as well. So there you go. There's the PDF I had that you guys have had. Showing you the playmats and actions right here, how the layout is. And again, I can squeeze this together a little bit better on my limited space that I have. But again, these mats really are beautiful, all double-sided that way. We went through the preview videos already. And that brings us to everyone's favorite subject, shipping info. Oh boy, have I seen people talk about this on the comment sections for this game. On BGG, especially Group 5, Canada, Mexico, Norway. You know, Renegade is, I believe, based out of California near San Diego. And yeah, going to Canada, going to Mexico is $40 for the Can't Stop, just for the base game. Whereas anywhere in the United States, Canada, well, China, Germany is $17. I mean, these 3 are really not the worst. I've seen worse shipping, you know, in terms of like, sending out big boxes and everything. Of course, it's going to go up higher because each one of the playmats is in its own unique box. They will not fit in the box with everything else, so they have to be stored and shipped separately. Therefore, you're going to have a higher shipping cost depending on what it is that you have. But just for the base game, even $30 for Group 4 is pretty crazy. But a lot of people I'm seeing from Canada and Mexico really want to get in on this. They really like the way this looks. They really enjoy it. And I know Renegade is doing their best in order to fix it. It is something that shipping is just a problem nowadays. It still is. Years later, after all of those crazy shipping things happen and whatnot, we are still having issues trying to get things from point A to point B for the best price possible. It's just not a thing nowadays that a lot of people like. It's just tough. It is so tough in order to be able to find great deals and whatnot. And I know they're looking for it. They're trying their best. All I can say is anybody out there in Canada that really wants this game, that is really interested in it, whatever, put your $1 down to at least get yourself access to the Pledge Manager at the very end of it. And hopefully by then, Renegade would have figured out some type of solution. If that's the case, then you guys are going to be perfectly on board with it all. Might even go down in other areas too. Who knows? I don't mind paying the 17 shipping for it. It is what it is at this point. But I totally understand what you guys feel in like Canada and Mexico. That is a lot. It is a lot. So just hold tight, hang on, keep an eye out, and have faith that Renegade knows exactly what they're doing, because that's what I truly believe. And there you have it, everybody. Unstoppable, the latest in the Solo Hero series game, and from John D. Clare, a great designer that I really want to see more of what he has done, and of course, more of what he does in the future as well. Guys, thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey through the Kickstarter for Unstoppable. Again, if you haven't seen me do the preview play yet, definitely head on over, check that out, or see any of the other ones that have been listed here for the game. Really get an idea if this is something for you or not. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of this game, and I was probably going to back it regardless of anything, even if I didn't get a chance to do the preview play. But man, like, getting the stuff now, getting all those extra cards and whatever really will make a difference for the game. If it's not something you yourself are interested in and you still want to make sure that you get it for the better price, if you're in a place that has really high shipping, put the $1 down for your pledge to see if it changes by the time it comes out. If not, pick it up at your local retailer, and then of course find these extra cards on the Renegade website whenever they become available. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Thank you again so much. Let me know what you think of Unstoppable down in the comments section below. If this is something that you are interested in backing, if this is something that maybe you did back, if you've played any of the other solo hero games, again, I want to hear your thoughts about those, what you think are the best, what do you think of John D. Clare games, just all that stuff and more. I want to hear about this series of games, this style of game that Renegade has put out that I've known about, but I just have never put myself in order to play yet. This is really getting me to that for sure, 100%. You guys are awesome. Thank you again. In order to not miss any future solo hero games or any other things I put out for you guys to enjoy, whether it be from Renegade or anything else along that ways, more Power Rangers coming soon for sure. Be sure you are subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. If you wish to support the channel even further, there are ways to do that down in the description section below. I've recently made a link tree, so you can click on that and see all kinds of cool stuff that I have associated with Home Gamer Dad. And then, of course, simply enough, your view, your like, your share, your comment, your subscribe, all of that is way, 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 way more important than anything else. And I thank you all so much for that every single day. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together. My kids are playing. We're having fun. We're enjoying ourselves. And we're seeing how good this Kickstarter turns out in the end. You guys have a good one. And I'll see you all in the next one.